Now, I must admit, this episode made me feel some kind of way. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRSTV. This is your boy Kenny. Now remember, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow all the information I have in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 8, Episode 6. And the name of this episode is Mr. Jim. Like I said in the preview, this episode made me feel some kind of way. I felt my blood boiling. And, you know, let's just jump right in. The episode picked up where it left off, where Hannah and Candice go to Jim about Benny. And Jim starts playing this pseudo mind game with Hannah. And, you know, Hannah's begging, please, Jim, please. And Candice was like, don't you beg this man for anything. What is your problem? But Candice got to the point where Candice couldn't even take it anymore, and she ended up leaving. And rightfully so, because as soon as she goes out the room, her and Mitch have a conversation. Mitch says that his family tracked down the license plate so they know where Benny is, and they go off. Then we get this very painful scene of Jim playing these slavery mind games with Hannah, and Hannah was really pissing me off in this scene. Because I'm like, Hannah, you got the upper hand. This motherfucker is in a damn hospital bed. You could have jumped in that bed, knocked his ass out, and took that phone and broke it. You would have fucking had the upper hand then. But he literally started playing with her head, you know, telling her to call him Mr. Jim. And then every time she did it, it made me angry. I mean, because this is Black History Month, and yet you're seeing this black woman degrade herself to this impotent white man, and it was really making me mad. And he just kept playing, you know, this mind game with her, and then he calls the guy and lets him know, okay, hold off on that, you know, because you remember on the last episode he said kill him, and he says that, you know, hold off for 2 hours, in 2 hours exactly. So he lets Hannah know, you got 2 hours exactly to get that money into my account, or there's hell to pay. And then when she goes out, and he's like, oh yeah, tell that damn guard that his fat ass is fired. The damn guard walked off. So that was the end of that. So back at the jail, Wyatt is still talking shit to Kathryn, still telling her that Jim is dead and all of that. And then finally, Marty shows up. Now this goes to show you how stupid Wyatt is, with and without the drugs. Because Wyatt's like, oh Marty, you here? You here for me too? And he's like, no, I'm here for your mother. So they take Kathryn out the cell, and her and Marty go talk. And then Wyatt's like, are you here for me? Are you here for me? Wyatt, dude, you didn't really think this whole situation through at all. You so wanted to take out your parents, but you really have no master of how to run anything. Because what makes you think Marty's there to see you when you just tried to kill her and almost killed your dad? Seriously, bruh? But yeah, I'm gonna get into that because Wyatt was delusional this whole episode. So then I'm gonna now talk about Madison and Jeffrey. They arrive at, you know, David's house. We see that the guards are at the door, and we really see the wreckage after Veronica had those goons shoot up the house. And Jeffrey and Madison get into this conversation. Now Madison, I was definitely here for what Madison had to say to Jeffrey, because he was telling Jeffrey the absolute truth. But then again, Madison, you keep submerging yourself into the situation, so a part of you is somewhat sucked into the bullshit, even though you're saying you're not with the shit, but you keep putting yourself in the shit. So that's my issue with Madison, because I'm like, Madison, you need to run west and keep running, but you keep going east into Jeffrey and his shit. And it's because he likes Jeffrey, but Jeffrey just isn't getting it. And Madison kept letting him know that, look, this is not normal. This is insane. And you keep putting yourself in the middle of the drama. As we know, Jeffrey likes drama. And then again, Wyatt is just as much of a drama queen as Jeffrey. They both are drama queens. They like being in the middle of the shit. And then Jeffrey's like, well, what am I supposed to do? And then Madison was like, dude, get away from them. You're too dependent on them. Become independent. Do your own thing. Pull yourself up. Do what you got to do. You don't have to continue to take this. And then all of a sudden, Jeffrey with his smug ass looking like, so are you really happy? More happy than your sorry ass. You've been miserable since the first season. We've done nothing but see you be miserable. Even when Candice tried to do exactly that, what Madison is saying, that's how you met Landon, was when you was hanging out with Candice. Candice was trying to make you independent and self-reliant where you wouldn't need your family, but just like the simp that you are, Veronica threatened your ass and you went running right back into the bullshit. And you've been there ever since. So Madison was like, yeah, I'm happy. I put myself through nursing school. Yeah, I get lonely, but I'm happy. And then he says that there was an accident, so there's going to be a lot of traffic, so he's really tired. So Jeffrey offers his bed for him to sleep in. So Madison was like, I don't sleep in my scrubs. So Madison stripped down and was getting full Monty. And I must say, Madison, don't judge me. But hey, Madison was looking good. And then, of course, Madison is a horny bastard, so he's trying to get Jeffrey to get into bed with him. Jeffrey, says, oh no, I got some things to do. Get you some rest, and I'll talk to you later. And then all of a sudden, Jeffrey goes out and, damn. I'm like, I don't know who the hell you think you fooling. You wanted to pet the pink rabbit, bitch. You should have just went into bed and did what you wanted to do. I wouldn't have judged you. I mean, shit, with all that man candy up in there, shit. And how, and the funny thing about it, I think Madison will probably be the one to turn Jeffrey's ass out. Just saying. Because also, while they were talking, he brought up his whole situation with Justin, aka Justine. How it was dangerous and it was, edgy, and that's what drew him into it. And then Madison was like, yeah, just like your mother. Like, yeah, because Justin is the gay version of Veronica. And he was just calling it out that you like the drama. You got sucked into this cat and mouse game with Justin, and a part of you liked it. And he admits he doesn't have a lot of experience, with gay relationships. Yes, that's why Landon was trying to school you, but like a bitch, you ran away from that too. It's like anybody who gives you any sense of reason, you run in the opposite direction and you wonder why your life's all fucked up. But yeah, I thought that was cute. But then I was like, Jeffrey, you brought that boy there with the intention that you want to pet the pink rabbit, so you need to start fronting and get your life. So yes, I already talked about that. Okay, so then we go to the jail with Kathryn and Marty. Marty drops the beans and lets Kathryn know that Jim's alive. So she now knows that Wyatt is delusional and Wyatt don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's still thinking that he's like that one stunner, but he don't even know how to aim right. So pretty much Kathryn asks Marty about the case, and he says that, look, from the looks of it, it's a solid case, and she's just saying, get me the hell out of here. I can't stay here another night and all of that. But then Marty drops the bomb that Jennifer Salison's family has filed a wrong civil suit against her, and that if you got any assets, you need to form a trust that they can't get to, because if they win, they can take everything. So he asks her, do you have anybody that you can trust that you can put the assets in their name? Kathryn mentions Hannah Young, and immediately Marty's like, you mean your maid? And she was like, no, my friend. I'm like, yeah, that's true, because Hannah is the only friend she has. I mean, the only real friend she has. And remember, in the first episode, Hannah still has the recording when Kathryn gave her will and testament while she was about to have surgery, you know, to get rid of her cancer. And she did the will and testament, and Hannah filmed it. So Hannah still has access to that. And y'all remember that she said she don't want to leave nothing to Jim, Wyatt, Amanda, or anything. Well, we don't have to worry about Amanda. Amanda's dead. But still. And I still think that, yeah, Wyatt killed her ass, because Wyatt's a fucking loose cannon. So if anything, she says that, yeah, get her down here, and we can talk about making her the power of attorney of my estate. She's the only person I trust. So I was like, it's real funny, because here it is, Jim is doing these psycho-slavery mind games on Hannah, when yet Hannah can literally be in control of the whole, with Kathryn's entire estate. And that's really gonna send Jim over the fucking edge. So then we also see that Hannah's in the waiting room after Jim dismissed her. She's trying to call Candice, and she's calling Candice back to back. And, you know, Candice is just letting her go to voicemail. Meantime, Candice and Mitch are at the Iron Bone. Candice is really on edge because, you know, Mitch is telling her, you need to calm down. You need to let my family handle this. My family's good at this. We got this. And she's like, I can't. You know, this is my brother. You know, this is my brother and everything. And she's still getting calls, and she knows it's Hannah, but she's not trying to deal with Hannah. But then, you know, the calls keep coming in, and he says that, won't you answer it? She's like, no, it's probably my mother. And he's like, no, it could be Benny. And sure enough, when she answers the phone, it's Benny and Arkell. She's telling Benny that she's at the bank, and she's gonna be getting the money and all of that. And then she asks, are they gonna let you go? And he's like, I think so. She's like, look, I'm going by what you're saying. Do you think they're gonna let you go once they get this money? And he said that, yeah, they said everything's gonna work out fine. So they get off the phone, and that's that. Then we get an unexpected situation. We see Broderick's old smug ass goes to the damn police station to see Kathryn as if she's like staying at a hotel suite. He's asking, can he get in? And they were like, absolutely not. She's a prisoner. And he was like, well, those people are going in. She says, only people who are allowed are lawyers and judges. You ain't one of them, so you're not getting back there. He's like, well, can I leave a message? It's like, dude, this is not a hotel. What is your problem? And then, unexpectedly, he runs into Marty. And he was saying that, you know, because he overheard him asking about Kathryn. And he says that, oh, yes, I'm a friend of hers. I'm a manager at the hotel she owns, the Artesian. And I was just checking to see how she's doing. You know, are you going to go see her? And Marty was like, well, I'm done seeing her for the day. But if you want, you can leave a message with me, and I'll let her know. So he says, okay, well, definitely do that. And I'm going to give you my number. And he gives him a direct line number to the loft. And immediately, Marty knows exactly what this is. He's like, is this the same loft that Wyatt used to live in, but now she owns? What are you doing there? And he was like, oh, she just let me stay there for now. And then eventually, Broderick walks off, and Marty's wheels start turning. I'm like, this gonna be some shit. Rocky told you, dumbass, this could end bad for you, because if Jim gets wind of this, and due to the fact that Marty serves the Cryer family, yeah, Jim may do some shit to you, Jim may do some shit to you, Broderick. So you might want to run for the hills while you still can, and stop thinking that your Latin meat is gonna get you into paradise when it can clearly send you to hell. All right, so then we go back to Mitch and Candice. Candice is still, you know, on edge, you know, and Mitch is trying to calm her down, like, look, give my folks a chance. You need to play it cool. And then they see the newspaper article that Landon had did about Candice cleaning her up, you know, making her seem like a victim of someone that was born into bad circumstances, which is true. But Landon worked his magic, and pretty much, you know, Mitch was the one who noticed it, and Candice like, I ain't trying to read that shit. And he was like, look, it actually looks like it's pretty good though. And then finally, Hannah keeps calling. Candice finally answers, and she was like, look, I'm at the bank right now. She's like, look, Candice, you better not be playing with me. You better be at that bank getting this man back his money, because I will call the police. I will call them. Oh, you'll be quick to call the police on your damn daughter, but you ain't gonna call the police on that sick, stinking white man that's threatening to kill your son. Really, bitch? I'm gonna call the police and tell them everything. See, that's Hannah's problem. She got too much of a damn, step and fetch mentality that really gets on my nerves. So then, back at the jail, we get a scene with George and Wyatt. George is already feeling, some sting in his ass because Veronica told him off. So he literally comes in there and gives Wyatt the blues. Wyatt is like, so I'm still gonna testify against my parents. And aren't you gonna let me out? I have immunity. George is like, bruh, you had immunity for the Castile case. And dude, you're in here because you shot your father and almost shot your mother. Immunity only covers one crime, not all crimes. And then he's like, well, I'm not testifying then. He's like, well, fine, I got enough to take your mother down with what I have already. I don't need you. So George is really just throwing all his anger and aggression that he feels for Veronica on the Wyatt. But Wyatt is like, you need to get me out of here. I have immunity. You should set me free. And George is like, dude, you're really delusional. You need to get some help. Like, bruh, you were locked up for the attempted murder of your mother and father. There is no immunity now. You're not gonna get it. So get some help with your delusional ass. You're not getting out of jail. And that was the end of that. And then Wyatt is all, go to hell, go to hell. I'm like, Wyatt, you're a fucking idiot. Like, if anything, they should just kill Wyatt's ass, because there should be a crime that this boy's this stupid, but he's been pampered his whole life. He's never had to pay for any wrong or mistakes that he's done. Jim has always covered him up to his own detriment. So then we see that David finally comes home. He's in the car. He actually calls Kyle for Jim, and he's talking about Jim is gonna be okay. And he was like, well, yeah, I've been seeing things on the news. I heard things went down over there. And then he says that, well, I'm calling on Jim's behalf about an arrangement you two have. Oh, this bitch flipped and was like, oh, I don't know any arrangement. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm like, yeah, the arrangement of, shutting down the Jennifer Salison case. And then he did, and they also mentioned Lizzie Castile, because that was also another case he wanted him to handle. And then all of a sudden he was like, okay, well, I can try to, and then David was like, well, I can try to set it up where you and Jim can talk personally, and y'all can iron this out. And then, Kyle pretty much agreed, okay, I'll talk to him or whatever, whatever happens. And then we see that Scott is sitting right across from him, and Candice's article is on the desk. And of course, Kyle with his old punk ass feels some kind of way. He's like, oh, this bitch. And he was like, well, maybe you need to look, you maybe need to try to work things out with Jim, because Jim can give you more ammo to shut her down. And he's like, okay, fine, I probably will try to reach out to Jim and see what's going on with that. But then he kind of gives this look to Scott like, he on to you, Scott. He on to that ass, because we know that Scott was the one that told everything to Landon, spilled the beans. So all of a sudden, Candice now has this article that's making her look like a victim. He's wondering how the hell was that even possible. So yeah, Kyle's wheels are turning. Then, while David, gets out his car, guess who decides to roll up? That damn Veronica. She pulls up right in front of the house. She's not technically on the property, and she's just taunting the hell out of David. And then, you know, the guard is telling her she needs to leave, and she's like, I'm not going anywhere. And like, and then all of a sudden, Veronica, all of a sudden David comes like, if you don't get your crazy ass out of here. And Veronica's like, yeah, I heard you had a crazy night last night. You know, just taunting him, and they going back and forth. And then she pulls a Kenya Moore move and gets the damn bullhorn and starts talking shit to David like, you bitch ass man, you weak ass man, you punk ass man. And he's getting real pissed off. And all of a sudden we see Jeffrey comes out, and she's like, oh, how you doing, girl? Hey, hun. And you see that damn Jeffrey is mad as hell. I'm like, yep, I remember the knife. I remember the defibrillator. Jeffrey will go off the rails and do something to her ass, and she know it, but she likes pushing everybody's buttons. So at this point, she don't even care. And then she turns her focus onto Madison, who's pretty much full Monty looking outside the window. She's like, oh, hey, girl, what you doing up there? I wonder what they paying you to be up there for with your nasty ass. And he flips her the bird and everything, and she's like, you know what? You are just such a waste. Won't you take your ass down to Nordstrom's and buy yourself a brassiere? All that muscles and all them pecs, you just a waste, you punk bitch. Bitch! And I was like, oh my god, you gonna keep messing with Madison, and Madison's gonna go upside your head. Like, cause I really do think that Madison can take Justin. You know, Madison just been real pleasant because he's been at work when he's been dealing with Justin. But I think outside of that shit, Madison can take him. And Madison obviously wants to be with Jeffrey, so he keeps submerging himself in the shit. So Madison, whatever you get is what you get. But I hope you can fight this shit off, because you already see that David and Veronica are both forces you do not want to fuck with. Because next thing you know, we see David goes into the safe and pulls out this file. And Jeffrey's like, what are you doing? He's like, stay here. I got this. This ends now. He goes and confronts Veronica. And Veronica's like, oh, is that what you want to do? And he was like, yeah. I'll take down both of us to save Jeffrey. Because when you shot at Jeffrey, that's when you violated. And yeah, I'll take your ass down, Veronica. She's like, well, you forget I got shit on you too, huh? And he's like, well, fine. Let the cards lay. Let's play. So he calls George and says, I got some information for you. He calls Marty and tells Marty, tell Kathryn, don't talk to anybody until I talk to her, and arrange for me to get in there to meet up with her. So that was the end of that. Then it goes back to this, you know, Hannah finally, it's been 2 hours. Jim calls Lloyd, and he's like, and all of a sudden Lloyd's like, oh, I heard what's going on. I'm so sorry. He's like, yeah, whatever, you fat fuck. You don't give a damn. Is my money there? And he was like, there's nothing here. It's like, okay, fine, bye. Just totally dismiss Lloyd. And then all of a sudden, Hannah comes into the room, and you know, she's like, is everything okay? Did everything work out? Candice says she went to the bank to take care of it. And he's like, yes, everything is good. Not, there's no money, Hannah. I said 2 hours, and it's 2 hours. And I'm a man that's about my word. So therefore, since it's not 2 hours, he calls the number, and he says that, she's like, Jim, please. He's like, Mr. Jim. She wouldn't say it that time. So then he said, shoot him. And then we hear somebody get shot. So that's where the episode ended. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, see, Hannah, if you actually had a backbone and you didn't have this slave mentality, you would have realized you had the upper hand. He in a hospital bed. You could have knocked his ass out and could have took that phone and broke it. And that would have ended everything. He would have had no access to nothing. But no, you allowed him to fuck with your head, and this is what you get. See, it doesn't pay, you know, to be bending your back all the time, because nobody can ride your back. No one can ride your back unless it's bent. Hold on to that one. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So until next time, everybody, take care.